The Department of Home Affairs has published its revised draft white paper on citizenship, immigration and refugee protection. Now, the revised draft white paper reframes citizenship and immigration as both an economic enabler and a security and public interest function. It is currently open for public comment, and interested parties may deliver their written submissions by 15th of February. For more on this, we are joined by Princy Mthombeni, Chairperson of South Africans for Constitutional Reform. Princy, thank you very much for your time. The proposed white paper does make some amendments from the previous one, namely 4, including asylum as well as permanent residency. Tell us about the main contestations that you have regarding this white paper.
Thank you so much, Pumi, for having me. So what's the difference between this white paper and the previous one? Because this is not the first white paper to be published. So the difference is, number one, this white paper brings everything together: asylum, immigration, citizenship, permanent residence, and under one framework. Previously, it was separated. So all of them are now under one policy. Number two, this white paper introduces the digital systems. That includes the biometrics and what is called the electronic authorization, I think travel authorization, ETA. And it also introduces new visa categories such as skills-based visa, startups, and remote works. But most importantly, what the white paper introduces is the first safe country principle, meaning if you are fleeing danger in your country, you must apply for asylum in the first safe country you reach, not coming all the way from Nigeria to Southern Africa to seek asylum. So those are 4 things that it introduces.
And contestations then from your organization on any one of these?
Maybe let me start by saying, as SACR, we support migration that is humane, lawful, and enforceable. What South Africans are really asking is they want, or what they are saying is that we are not rejecting human rights. What we are rejecting is chaos. I mean, compassion without control becomes chaos. So currently the system that is existing is not enforceable, and it does not protect anyone, including citizens and real refugees, and ultimately undermines the rule of law. So far, over 14,000 people who have submitted to SACR, who have given us their input. And that level of engagement, Mpumi, it tells you that South Africans care deeply about immigration policy, because it affects jobs, it affects security, public services, and social cohesion. So, and the frustration we are hearing is not xenophobic. It's people asking for clarity, consistency, and enforcement. Because, as I said earlier on, the current system or the system that we have now is where everyone loses, including legitimate asylum seekers. So as SACR, we've selected 4 things or 4 principles from the inputs that we received. Number one, we are saying the white paper must be clear that citizenship, immigration status, asylum, and permanent residence are privileges granted in the national interest, not automatic entitlements. Yes, our constitution protects basic rights for everyone, but clarity is essential if the law is to be enforced. Number 2, we are saying asylum must return to its original purpose: temporary protection for people fleeing real danger. It should not be used as a permanent settlement option or an indirect path to citizenship. Number 3, we are saying visas and permits need to have clear, objective grounds for revocation, including misrepresentation, fraud, criminal conduct, or maybe basic or violation of basic conditions. And lastly, very important, what we are saying is we do not support the inclusion of climate migration or climate-related migration as a basis for asylum and refugee status. And South Africa is not even obligated under the international law to recognize climate displacements. And stretching the grounds, the refugee grounds, would further put strain on an already overburdened system. And lastly, in closing, I want to reiterate, South Africans are not asking for exclusion, they're asking for clarity, because a system without clarity is a system where everyone loses, including legitimate asylum seekers. So as SACR, we are saying we are calling for a system that is humane, lawful and enforceable, because that's how trust is restored. Thank you.
Princy, these 4 points that you are seeking clarity on, you know, the government is arguing, critics in fact of this white paper have said that not adhering to the proposals of the white paper may alienate South Africa from the neighboring countries and strain relations with other African leaders. What's your response to that?
I'm saying that is not what is going to happen, because as it is already, South Africa is a country where it's a free-for-all, where everyone is coming to South Africa seeking asylum. And it's for many asylum seekers in South Africa or refugees, South Africa is not even their first safe country they reached when they ran away. So we're in a country where laws are not being enforced. So, and those who are saying that, I mean, you go to other countries, their constitutions are clear that their countries belong to citizens, but in our country does not belong to us. So we are in a predicament where everything is just free for all, law is not being enforced, and that's exactly what we are fighting for.
The white paper also proposes a point-based system, right, for those who've got skills, giving preference to them. I mean, you'd understand that it does make sense because the country is trying to attract skills. And what do you make of that proposal in the white paper? Would it not create a tiered economy for South Africans who are already unemployed and by and large also unskilled?
Mpumi, right now we have people, foreigners in South Africa working who are not even offering the critical skills that they're supposed to be offering. And we have a highest number of unemployed youth in South Africa. So I think what the government is trying to do with focusing on only skilled people to come and introduce and work in South Africa is they're trying to at least cap the unemployment rate in South Africa. So it won't do that, because as it is right now, you saw the steers case which was all over social media, where the manager is, people are asking what skills the manager is offering. It's not a scarce skill. So we need to start thinking, government needs to start thinking how they can get young people participating in the economy, how they can cap the unemployment rate that is so high. And the introduction of those skills-based visas are very important, including the remote work visa, so that we also try to address issues of high foreigners that are based in South Africa.
I mean, you speak of no evidence of foreign nationals who are coming into the country having critical skills, but civil society organizations are arguing that the white paper gives evidence, really, for opportunities created by foreign nationals who come into the country, set up businesses. I mean, you look at the township economy and foreign nationals who are setting up spaza shops there and giving opportunities.
Is that
are you saying that those are inefficient opportunities created by foreign nationals?
They are inefficient. You can't tell me about a spaza shop as an efficient economic contribution. That's not. South Africans can have their own spaza shops within the country. And we know the story of those spaza shops where they are selling expired goods. So is that the type of immigrants or economy that you want to build within the country? So yeah, I think what people are raising is a serious concern, a very important concern, but it shouldn't matter, because South Africans, we grew up where South Africans, I mean, the spaza shop next to my home was owned by a South African.
The white paper also gives a focus on ministerial discretion for giving either citizenship or asylum. What's your response to that? Criticism has been leveled against this objective, saying that in a country that is beset by corruption, you cannot leave it up to a minister to just solely decide on case-by-case basis?
So if it's not the minister deciding, who should decide? Home Affairs corrupt officials. We know the story of corruption within Home Affairs. So I think I support that the minister be the one deciding, because for a very long time we've had stories of corrupt officials at Home Affairs who are taking bribes at border gates. So it's very important, and that we acknowledge that when the minister's involvement is important.
All right, Princy, so the deadline is the
15th of February.
15th of
Yes.
February, and members of the public can submit.
Can submit. Yes, and I just want to highlight the importance of participating in these papers, because for me, this is the only stage when it, as far as the policy drafting is concerned, where government is legally required to listen to the public. After the policy is finalized and gazetted, it cannot be changed. It's difficult to get it changed. So if we as ordinary citizens are not participating in this policy, that means we are going to have policies that govern us that do not have our voices, and but we are the ones who are going to live the consequences. But also, this is how democracy works, because democracy is not voting every 5 years. It's also responding when government calls you to make your submissions in drafting of the policies.
Princy Mthombeni, thank you very much for your time. Princy is the chairperson of South Africans for Constitutional Reform.